It was the summer of 1998 when my brother and I turned on MTV late at night to see sock puppets performing skits in between music videos. It was silly, it was crazy, it was odd, and it was absolutely hilarious. We fell in love immediately. The premise of the show is fairly simple. Longtime friends Sifl and Olly have been granted a cable access style show by MTV. They get their friend Chester to be MC, and he does a spectacularly bad job at it. They take calls from the public, help Precious Roy hawk his goods HSN style, interview guests, and perform a song, usually related to whatever happened on the episode, but not necessarily. They also featured a few recurring characters and even had a show within a show called Pedo and Fleck, but the less said about that last bit, the better. Sifl is laid back and Olly is high-strung. This usually became the most obvious in the Precious Roy segments, where Olly would get really into selling the total rip-off products. Everything from Civil War corpses to edible sandals were sold by Precious Roy. I was always amused by the fact that they would frequently parody HSN by showing the original price crossed out, and then show a new price which in this case was always higher than the original. Probably the best Precious Roy segment is for Miracle Dirt. Despite many people proclaiming that the product is just in fact regular dirt, Olly gets so persistent about the product as to have a full breakdown on camera.
Do you realize what a fool you've made of yourself over the last... Oh, forget it, I'm out of here.
Folks, Miracle Dirt is your last chance for salvation, and I mean that. Let's take another call.
Yeah, I use your Miracle Dirt. I really, really like it.
And what are you using Miracle Dirt for?
For dirt.
What?
For dirt. I use it in my garden. You know, my flowers
You
look
are
great.
so underestimating this product, sir!
Calls from the public was often amusing and occasionally surreal, as they would answer calls, sometimes from people who didn't actually seem to call them to begin with. They even received calls from themselves once or twice. These segments always brought out the best kind of random humor.
I don't know what you're missing. I got legless dogs here. My hands are sticky.
Why did those seagulls take my sister?
What?
They took her.
I can't tell you how many times I've quoted these scenes of the show. They're just so hilarious. Interview time was slightly more focused, but the guests were still wonderfully random.
All these pictures of this face, like this man on Mars guy.
Okay, just stop right there. It's just a damn birthmark, okay?
How are we supposed to interview plants? Oh my gosh.
Hey, you guys want to buy a stereo?
Okay, let's hear it.
Jack, be angry. Jack, be mad. Jack bashed in the skull of your dad.
Thanks, Jack. Next.
A recurring theme was that Sifl would blow the money they needed to book the guests, so either they would get low-rent invitations, or Olly himself would pretend to be the guest they were supposed to have. Perhaps some of the best moments come from the segment titled A Word with Chester, but that's simply because Chester is the best character on the show. As I got older, I saw people refer to him as a stoner, and I don't really think that's true. He's just a space cadet.
Okay, it ended.
Oh no. The world ended?
No, Chester the play did.
Okay. The robot took my sandwich.
A couple of times we also got to hear Chester sing as well, and that's a real treat.
She goes dancing on my stolen holiday. Had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone.
Like Chester's Seasons in the Sun, some of the songs were covers, but most were originals. They were also incredibly catchy. My personal top 10, in no particular order, are
Did you get the name of that girl in the spooky car?
Performance art, I'm the king. So grab a hammer, nail me to something. I'm sorry, Dolores, your turtle is dead. You don't have to go to school, so just stay in bed.
Help me, Dr. Puberty, what's happening to my skin? My face is full of blotches from my forehead to my chin.
Yes, this means we won't be hanging shoes out.
Get
my school.
I may be a pimp, but I ain't washing my hose. A prostitute laundry. Make me coming to answer the telephone now. You can't make me answer the phone.
The weakest segment was probably SNO News, but that's mostly because this segment can't help but be dated by now. The recurring idea is that Sifl is dating a Serena Altschul from MTV News, and Olly is jealous about it, and now it just seems kind of pointless. But the psychic traffic updates and the crazy cooking segments are still pretty funny. Another dated part of the show are the rock facts. They were all false facts, of course, but they're specifically related to bands that were really big at the time, but not always so significant anymore. It isn't terrible, but it is forgettable. If you only check out one episode, make it the robot episode. Sifl decides to take a vacation and makes a robot to fill in for him, much to Olly's mounting frustration. I hate to give away any more details than that, because this episode really needs to be enjoyed rather than talked about. The show lasted for 2 seasons, but the first was aired late at night and often chopped up and re-edited in order to produce more content. For the second season, they tried to give it a bit of a push by airing it after TRL, but that wasn't exactly the right demographic for it. As such, the show was cancelled and has largely disappeared into obscurity. A third season was produced but never aired, and you can find bootleg copies of it on DVD, but considering that it tends to go for hundreds of dollars on eBay, I currently don't have a copy. I'm proud to say that Sifl and Olly was one of my first moments of extreme fandom. We loved the show so much that we went through the effort of hooking up our VCR to our PC and recording all of the songs into MP3 format. We then uploaded all the MP3s onto a website for other fans to download and enjoy. It was really great and a really fun time. We met some different people through the internet that way as well. Unfortunately, the website no longer exists, and I can't find it on the Wayback Machine either. The bad news is, there is no official DVD release of the Sifl and Olly show. However, you can find most of the episodes online, either streaming or for download. Think of the 2 most obvious places you'd go looking, and you're probably going to find it. The good news is, Sifl and Olly are back. They've already had one 8-episode season on the Machinima channel, where they were doing real reviews for fake video games. As you can probably tell, it was essentially a parody-style show where they would review fake video games that were based on current video games of the time, like Skyrim and Mass Effect 3. While knowing a bit about video games may help, I don't think it's required to enjoy the episodes because of their parody nature. At the end of the last episode, creator Liam Lynch announced that they would be moving over to the Nerdist channel. I'm hoping this means that they'll return to their previous format and drop the video game reviews. Not that they were bad, I just like to see more of the broader style episodes like they used to do back in the day. The random humor really brought out the best. I'm also hoping that all of this will lead to an official DVD release. He hinted at it in a recent interview, but hasn't said anything else since.
I should never have called one of your